All right, so what we're going to do is this is the Edpuzzle about page 8, and this is just to summarize our discussion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and here we are. All right, so this is about explaining the calculations. We didn't just want to focus on what were the answers, but we wanted to focus on how can you explain how you got those numbers. So right here, this is for 7 months. What they did was they wrote what they got, and they explained to us for Hulu. They said they multiplied 17 times 7, and then for Netflix they multiplied 10 times 7, and then they added to that 70, 28. So these are a couple of examples for 7 months. So if you notice here, they did some multiplying for Hulu. Then for Netflix, they did some multiplying, and then they did some adding. This one is a little bit different. No, here they multiplied also. This one's a little bit different though. I hope you can notice the difference. What they did is what I did was I add that last answer that I got was 153. And so what they were doing was they were adding to the one before it. So for example, they had 118, so they added 10 to the next one for Netflix. And then for Hulu, they added 17 to the next one. So what I want you to think about is in order for you to do it this way, what do you need? If you're going to add it to the one before, you're going to always need the one before because you won't be able to add something to it unless you have the one before. So if I assign you 39 months, what it costs for 39 months, you need to know the 38th month to add 10 before it. And then you need to know the one before that and the one before that. So if you do it this way, it works, but just think about how much more time you need to do that. This is additive, where the other ones where you multiply, that's multiplicative. And that's different because you're multiplying by, here they multiply by the number of months. So I want to show that to you. Same thing, this one they multiplied. They did some multiplying here. They multiply by the cost of the number of months. Here again, they're adding, but they had to add to the one before it. I'm trying to make sure. Here, so this is the whole point, okay? Well, the whole point of getting you to think about, okay, what am I doing each time? And when you think about what you do each time, that is a rule. And what we're trying to do is write an algebraic rule. That's the goal, is to write an algebraic rule so that we could calculate the cost of Hulu and Netflix for any number of months, whether it's 2 or whether it's 200 or 100. All right, so we want to be able to do that. So on here, when you do this for your Go Formative and when we write it in the journal, we're not talking about any number of months specifically. So here they did 3 months and here they did 8 months, but we were not talking about a specific number of months. This is for any number of months. So this would not be a correct rule because this is just one specific example, actually 2 specific examples differently. So here they're telling us to multiply 18 by 7, but we're talking about any number of months. We're not talking about the number of months is 18. We're not saying the number of months is 12. We don't know how many months. That's why it makes it change. It's something that number of months can change for anything. It can stand for any number. So that's why we don't want to do anything specific. So when you do your Go Formative, make sure it doesn't look like these examples right here, where it's a specific number. Right here again, they're talking about number of months. They were talking about 2, but we're not talking about 2 months. We're talking about any number of months. Here they did the same thing again. They did 100 months. Again, not what we're doing. Now here they did put something interesting. They multiply the number of months by the number of months by the cost. Which here, that's what you're trying to do, but you don't want to put a specific number for the number of months. What you want to do is you want to calculate the number of months by Hulu regular number, which is 17. For Netflix, I would say you to look at 10 per month and the one-time fee. So every time, again, if you add it, if you're going to add it you're going to need the one before it. And if we're talking about any number of months, you don't know which one's the one before it, because we don't know if we're calculating the cost for 2 months, 8 months. Our rule should work for any number of months. We don't have to have the one before it. Okay, so you don't want to make a rule where you need the one before it. This one said you're gonna multiply however many months you've had it by $17. For Netflix, you'd multiply $10 by how much it costs a month, which is $10. However many months you've had it, and then you'll get the cost. You need to add the extra $28 and you'll have your price. So these two right here, they didn't give you a specific number. They didn't tell you that you had to add to the one before it. So what I want you to do now is start your Go formative, and then you're going to create a rule for these different examples. We want to make it as general as possible. We don't want specific number of months. We also don't want to be adding to the one before it.